Hello, and welcome to week 2 of the UBC. So yeah, if you're coming to this video after watching week 1, you know that I'm not trying to put as much effort into building. I did not take as long with this team. I'm just trying to have a good time. So I believe I lead with Tentacruel here. Oh, I did not. Hold on. I need to do it without music. Hold on 1 second. There we go. Okay, so I lead with Tentacruel here as he leads with the Rabambi. So I'm just going to go for an Acid Spray. I probably should have just gone for a Hydro Pump because it hits everything on his team. But I was like, yeah, I'll go for Acid Spray and then I can Hydro Pump afterwards. But yeah, I thought the Hoopa could be Scarf, so I didn't want to stay in on that. As he goes for the trick, I'm going to put it even slower because I actually do want to explain my thought process a little bit for these. Dang, you're still going fast. Okay, so let's go back a few turns and see what happened here. So I switch in Pangoro as he goes for a trick, and he tricks me a Choice Specs. And he gets my Assault Vest, which I don't think actually does anything since he has the trick. Or no, maybe it does give him the Spadef, but he can't use trick anymore. Something like that. I don't know. So I predict he's gonna switch into, not necessarily this, but I thought he was gonna switch into something, and Tentacruel had a great matchup against basically his whole team. So yeah, I went into Tentacruel. I go for the Hydro Pump, and unfortunately this was a roll in my favor to kill, and I do not kill. And as you'll see here, he goes for the Earthquake, he's banded, he takes me out. So that sucks, because like I said, Tentacruel has a fantastic matchup against his team. It works well against everything. Now here, I probably should have gone into my Choice Scarf Cloister. Because it just, like, okay, I'm gonna kind of spoil some of his sets at least right here. Like, he does not have a Scarfer, and if you look at his team right now, Scarf, Icicle, Spear almost just wins from here. All I need is chip damage on the Cincino, and that's it. But you've got to keep in mind, I do not know this. Since, like, I predicted his Hoopa to be Scarf, and since that is not Scarf, I'm thinking now that his Tyranitar is Scarf. I thought Dragon Dance was a better set against me, but I figured he would still want a Scarfer, considering the option of Choice Scarf Cloister and just how fast a lot of things on my team are, basically. So I go into Talonflame as he goes into this Tyrantrum. Now here I had Steelium Z, Steel Wing, which it might not have killed from here. I don't know. I haven't really done the calc, but anyways, I did have it, and I was like, no, he could be Scarf. Especially by the way he brought this in, knowing I could have Steelium Z. So I'm gonna go straight out into Gligar. He goes for a Dragon Claw, and it does nothing. And now, based on that damage, I don't remember exactly. I think, yeah, he had it was more likely that he was Adamant, but it still had a chance to be Jolly, I believe. I did the calcs, but I don't really remember now. I think that's how it was. So I'm still thinking he's Scarf here, because he's not shown an item, and he's not banded or anything. So I'm thinking Scarf looks like a good option here. Now, if he's Adamant Scarf, like it's looking like he is, Cloyster still outspeeds. Because if you didn't know, Tyranitar has 1 base point of speed more than Cloyster. So a Jolly max speed Scarf Tyranitar would outspeed my Cloyster. And that's kind of my mindset for the rest of this game, is hey, I need to get rid of this Tyranitar so Cloyster can sweep. Even though he could be Adamant, and it's more likely that he's Adamant, because that was where the middling roll was. I don't want to take the chance of him being Jolly if I can get rid of this thing. That's my mindset, basically. So here, he's going to go into Rabombi, and I'm going to go for an Earthquake, and he's going to be able to set up his Sticky Webs. Now that's going to hurt my Cloyster, so I need to find a point to defog as soon as I can. So here, I'm just going to go for another Brave Bird. I figured if he went into Tyranitar, I could probably Steel Wing then. After 2 Brave Birds, it should kill, and it would also tell me whether he is Scarfed or not. Like if he killed me, it would be okay, and it would give me valuable information. And it would give me a chance to go into Gligar, because I know he would be Scarf locked into something and wouldn't really be able to touch Gligar, and I could defog, and Sticky Web would be off the field. It would also give me more, that would be if he attacked Gligar, it would give me more calcs to work with and figure out if he's Adamant or Jolly. So, but he actually goes into the Nidoqueen, and I don't really have a switch in for this. So, I kind of just have to let Talonflame go down here and get some damage off on this thing. So now I'm going to go into the Miltank. I believe I just go for Earthquake because it hits basically his whole team. He brings in the Hoopa here, and I think I go into Gligar. Yeah. So here, this is a big turn, because you would think, oh, Incineroar, it can't kill a Gligar. I can defog here. But if he is Jolly Scarf and he outspeeds my Cloyster, I need something that can deal with Scarf Tyranitar, and that something is Gligar, and I don't want him knocking off my Eviolite and making it to where Gligar can't deal with Tyranitar anymore. Miltank is also physically defensive, but it doesn't, even with Fizz Def, it doesn't enjoy taking head smashes. So I want to keep this Gligar around, and I figure if Tyranitar comes in again, that's my best opportunity to get the defog off. I'm also thinking I could get the defog off on Hoopa, but we'll see that later. And okay, something else that didn't even enter my mind at this point, and probably should have, is if he goes for Flare Blitz, I'm pretty sure defog needs a target to actually get rid of the hazards, and he should outspeed me because he should be speed invested and I'm not. So that's the other thing here. Basically, if he goes for knockoff, I can't deal with Tyranitar anymore, and if he goes for Flare-Blitz, I don't even get the defog off. So my best play here is to go into Pangoro, because if he knocks off, he gets rid of those specs for me. If he Flare Blitzes, then, well, Pangoro is the most expendable member on my team because it's crippled by those specs. As you can see, he does go for the Flare Litz, and that leaves me on just a sliver of health, which means I will be able to get off a bullet punch on something before I go down. And that something ends up being the Hoopa. So here, I'm thinking, oh, I just hit reset. Oops. Oop. You might have got a glimpse of what happens here. So, I'm thinking, here's my chance to defog. He might have Psychic, and that would hurt, but at this point, I'm thinking his set is Trick, Focus Blast, Shadow Ball, Psyshock, and that doesn't really hit. None of those really hit Gligar too hard. The worst thing he can do is Shadow Ball me, if that's his set. Considering I have Miltank and Pangoro and Cloyster, I just thought Focus Blast would be something he would have on this set. Turns out it is not. He has Hidden Power Ice, and he takes down my Gligar. So yeah, that's not looking good. So now I'm like, okay, he probably doesn't have the Focus Blast at this point, and he probably has Psyshock. So I can go into Miltank, get up my rocks, and see if Cloyster can make anything happen here. Yeah, he has Psychic and not Psyshock, and that does a lot more since I'm invested physically. So, also, Scarf Cloyster still outspeeds this, and that didn't even enter into my mind. I could have kept Gligar, I could have kept Miltank, and just gone into the Cloyster here. I still think going into Gligar was an okay idea because I did not expect HP Ice at all, and I needed to defog. I think I was also sort of right along the lines of going into Miltank. I wanted Stealth Rocks up for the Cloyster, so I don't know. I don't think either were necessarily bad. They just weren't good. Does that make sense? I think so. I don't know. I'm tired. Yeah, I probably should have gone into Cloyster after Gligar and kept Miltank around, because his team does kind of struggle with actually breaking Miltank, especially once Hoopa's gone. Since I have the Rocky Helmet, Cincino would definitely not enjoy going up against it. So yeah, if I had gone into Cloyster here and then killed the Hoopa, and since he doesn't have a Scarfer, nothing actually outspeeds me, even at -1 speed. So he has to go for the Thunder Wave here. And so like if I had gone into Cloyster after Gligar went down, killed the Hoopa, I would think I would go into Miltank on the Cincino since I have the Rocky Helmet and keep Cloyster unparalyzed. Yeah, I think if I had done that, I could have won. Maybe. Because I know he was Shucka Berry on Tyranitar, so he may have been able to get like a Dragon Dance up with that on my Miltank, and maybe be able to kill me from there. I'm not really sure exactly how the game would have gone. I think it would have been closer though, for sure, if I hadn't just sacked Miltank off for rocks, essentially. As you can see, once that Cincino has damage from the rocks, it goes down to the Icicle Spear. And if I was not paralyzed, I would sweep from here, because that is not a Scarf Tyranitar. It's actually Shucka Berry. And so basically, the the roll on whether he was adamant or jolly is kind of what caused this. Because if I was 100% sure he was adamant, well, no, never mind. I'm wrong. Yeah. I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought. That was a great game. Horse. It was very close. Do I think I could have played better? Yes. Am I okay with how I played? Yeah, I guess so. You know, because I am going into this with the idea of just, you know, having a good time. So I'm not too upset by my play. I think Scarf Cloister was a great bring. It destroyed his team once Incineroar went down, and I was just too scared of the Scarf on Tyranitar, and was just too afraid to actually bring it in and use it because of that. If I had on like turn 4, I basically just swept his team. But also I might have gotten carried away, and you know, the Cincina would have lived and been able to Thunder Wave me. So I don't know. It's hard to see where things would have gone differently if I had done that. But it's interesting just to theory mon a little bit. But yeah, I had a good time, and that's what I'm looking for now in this league, is just to have a good time. So hopefully week 3 is just as fun. I have some exciting plans for prep. The game has not been played yet, and I'm hoping the things that I am hoping to do with my prep work out the way I want them to. Because if they do, oh boy, that'll be fun. I'll see you guys then.